Welcome to the 145 Rural Podcast, where we are here to strengthen music careers and communities one song at a time. And now, here's your host, Jacob Wing. Yay!
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Today, we have a very special guest. Happens to also be my brother-in-law. This is Nathan Langendoerfer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Today, we are going to be talking about something that we neglect a lot, especially as musicians and artists, and that is the technical side of things, which in the modern society and the modern economy of music has become basically most of it. So it kind of gets thrown to the backside, but it shouldn't. So I thought we should touch upon some things today that would really start to dig into their minds of the individuals, of these newer artists, of things that they should be working on, paying attention to, and investing in. So I really appreciate you coming in. Nathan does a lot of networking things now, is what he's moving towards, but he also has built the last 3 PCs I've used in my personal studio, and his knowledge has been absolutely invaluable. So I thought we should share them with the world. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I guess.
just this one time.
Yeah, the world.
It's going to cost us, but as we're getting going, we'll start talking about you and learn a little bit about you. So what made you start loving computers, working with the tech side of things?
I mean, I started in hardware when I was like 12, or started in software when I was like 12, just messing around with computers. I think our first one was an Apple II.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a throwback.
Little, like, 5.5 inch.
That did not age us at all.
That. No, not at all. No. I was very young when that happened. And then, like, ended up getting, like, an old Windows 3.1 PC that really kind of started digging into it. A lot of MS-DOS, a lot of command line stuff. And then getting into high school, my buddy Brian actually showed me how to start upgrading hardware. And little did I know, that is where I would suddenly start just focusing everything. And have since then just been building computers, working on, like you said, networking now, so I can, because I started building my own little, like, home network.
Right. Oh, yeah, which we take advantage of, by the way. So, I mean,
yes,
it functions very well.
I've spent a lot of work on it, so.
But that's fantastic. And I mean, that's kind of where the fire got lit, so to speak. Makes a lot of sense. So one of the episodes that we just aired, kind of previous, kind of getting everybody in the mindset, to kind of get them geared up to get as much knowledge from you as possible. We were talking about the process of acquiring gear during a music career, and how, if you're mindful, how that can be more beneficial. What do you think would be a realistic dollar amount when putting together a computer for a musical geared life?
It really just kind of has, like, a huge range on it. Like, it's really, I mean, you could literally start out with, if you're willing to go, like, the refurbished route, there's plenty of like enterprise level equipment that's available on, like, Amazon or eBay for $80 to $120.
Oh, that's a very great starting point.
Yeah, that you can easily just pick up, throw in, like a USB card or something in it, something like that, and you can have your own little setup, nice little, like, work computer for $100 easy.
Wow,
and then
fantastic.
Yeah, and then I mean, it really is just like you've experienced with the upgrades that we've done to your system. It's like, it's really how much you want to spend, just kind of how much time do you want to save on it. It's that, like, I spend more, but I get more time to do more on it.
Yeah, there's a direct correlation there where if you start at that line, and that's great, you start where you can, but it's whatever you're doing, either more editing with audio or video, it's going to catch up with that number real quick. So like, it seems like the more that you might put into that money-wise, the less you have to deal with that, or the longer time it seems to extend itself anyways. But,
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can pretty much, like I said, you can start at bargain basement and just, like, piece your way up as you go.
Right, yeah. And that's actually one of my favorite parts. We're not going to get deep into the PC versus Mac world thing, but that's just why I personally have always leaned towards a PC, just because you can pick up parts so much easier and interchange them, versus in the Mac world, that's a little bit more of a struggle. At least that's my personal experience.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, like, I will give it up as a personal, like, just I use PC all the time. It's my whole life basically. Right. But I will give it up that Mac has some of the best video and music editing.
Oh, easily, yeah.
But it's that price for entry.
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
Exactly.
Once
you're starting at a much higher echelon, and then, like I said, once you have to renew, you're getting a whole, like, basically renewing everything, as opposed to, hey, my video card's not quite up to snuff, I can just get a better one.
Right.
Like, it's not as easy. It's possible, just not as easy.
Exactly. And then, like, I mean, especially like with a lot of it is like that, and what can actually work with it. Like, you've only got certain decks and that sort of thing that'll work with a Mac, whereas like we had with your FireWire.
Yep, yeah. That's for you youngers, you won't understand this one, but yeah.
But like we had your the FireWire, we had to find a specific chipset.
Yep.
But you're never going to find that chipset in a Mac.
No.
But we managed to find it in a certain card, get it in there. And I mean, same thing. Like, once, if you're just starting out, you're spending $100 on a computer, you're not going to have $500 to spend on a deck.
See, I knew having you on was a genius idea. I'm so smart. No, but I mean, really, I didn't even think about that. Going from that angle, where, like, with PC, if you start in that angle, you can use a lot of the archived old gear that is not as prevalent now, but you can find a way to make a use out of it and grow into the more modern, top dollar, newer things. But,
and build up as your business grows.
Right. Basically. Yeah, that's a really good point. Hey, you're a genius too. We're just a couple geniuses. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Let's see. So if someone who's planning to put a new computer together today, either building their own or just want to go out and purchase one, what is a small list of things they should sit down and map out before they go out and start that journey?
So, like, I asked you a question when you sent me these some kind of an outline on this. I asked you a question like, what tools do you use? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the first thing, is take whatever you want to use. Like, look up, like, if you're doing audio editing, look up Audible or Pro Tools, that sort of thing, and look up what are the minimum requirements. Mm-hmm. Like, and just start from there. Like, and like I said, pretty much every refurbished workstation desktop meets most of those minimum requirements. Mm-hmm. So you can pretty much pick up almost anything to start. And then basically you just move from there. You definitely want to look for something that has, a good, like, audio outputs and stuff like that. Right, or if you can hook up like a DAC to it or something to that effect.
That makes a lot of sense. So, like a lot of other things, when you're talking about it, you'd say, sit down and plan it, work backwards almost. Like, hey, here's the things I'm going to want to use. Here's the tasks I want to accomplish. Go look at everything, all the specs, they're all available. Just Google and it'll tell you, hey, here's the minimum requirements, and start building your computer that way backwards.
Yeah, you got to have your hardware to meet what you want to do with it. Like, a fork's not going to work for your soup.
Right. Yeah, well, I tried it once, but yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, me too, like a couple of weeks ago. And then I was like, Kayla, we need spoons.
Oh.
She was like, yeah, we do.
This has been Sad Stories with Jake. No, but that's I mean, it seems really straightforward, but really, if you sit down and plan it out and just take that extra time of, hey, here's what I'm going to need, you'll save yourself so many headaches.
Yeah, and I mean, there's research out there. You can look it up or anything, or ask your buddy who does computer things. Pretty much everybody.
I guess not everybody has this kind
of
research
no, like,
sitting around, but yeah, there's so many videos just on YouTube, or you can just pick up any Reddit thread, just say music production computer, and it's going to start. I mean, you obviously have to filter through like most things on the internet, but you're going to find a great starting point, and you'll see certain things over and over again. And hey, they keep talking about this audio interface. Maybe I should look that up.
Yeah.
Just let yourself dive into that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And build from there.
Start with Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Shut up. That's what is this modern crap we're talking about? Old people, we're the worst. Yeah. So when we're talking about the innumerable amount of information that is dealt with today, and especially as an artist where you're trying to keep all this information in one spot, such as, your songs and all your audio, doing your recording, doing the video work, doing your own artwork, that kind of thing, that starts to build up over time. What are some of the best practices for storing all this kind of information? What is kind of the bare minimum for someone when they're thinking they should have as a system for this kind of information?
So bare minimum, I'd say you want at least basic redundancy. So like at least 2 copies, just bare minimum somewhere. Either like you keep it on an external hard drive that you have, or like if you're using some kind of cloud service, like OneDrive or something like that.
Right.
Or, Apple.
iCloud.
Apple. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned that before. Not really my thing. But yeah, you definitely want at least 2 copies. There's a lot of the main storage rule for like any kind of like for businesses, as far as like business critical stuff is generally gone by like a 3-2-1 rule.
Okay, what's that?
So the 3-2-1 rule is you'll have at least 3 copies, 2 on site and at least 1 off site.
Okay.
So you'll have like your one copy that'll be either on your computer or on like a network attached storage device.
Right.
There's a few different types, or you can actually build them, which we're looking at to do for you eventually.
Right.
Or there's so your 2 copies where you have like the one on the computer, the external, or the network attached stuff. That you can set up like automated copies and things like that. It makes it a lot easier for those. Yeah. And then 1 offsite where like businesses will use like a completely different server in like another city or something.
Right.
Like for example, mine for like my pictures, I have it automatically uploads from my phone to my server at home, and then there's a copy on my server on a network device, and then it's automatically nightly uploaded to OneDrive.
Wow. That covers everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so, I mean, just a little nugget of knowledge, I have gone through this personally where one of my hard drives completely failed. And it is like, if you're lucky, some of it's recoverable. You can go to a certain place and they'll recover it. But if I had just done the first work and set up at least 2 instead of like, I didn't, not even just the 1, 2, 3 system. If I had just done the basics and done the 1, 2, I wouldn't have had to deal with the heartache and the absolute nightmare and my brain frying of, oh no, everything's gone.
Oh yeah. That's why like I said, the first thing was like all my pictures of like, those are the memories going back to practically high school.
Right.
That, yeah. And
wipe your whole life out. Like, I hope my brain still works good
like,
for a while, because that's all I got now.
Yeah, I guess my hard drive's gone. Bummer.
Yeah, so I mean, it really, really is important, and it will save you so much heartache and time later. So.
Oh God, and some of those data recovery services saves you a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh man, they saved my butt. Can I tell you what?
Oh,
thank goodness. So so that's something you really need to internalize. If you guys take anything from this little talk back and forth here, I'd say that's the big one right there.
Back up your stuff.
Have something in place.
Yes.
But let's talk about updating systems. I mean, that's just part of life. So you've got all this stuff, and you've invested in a computer, and it works for you. But eventually, especially with how many updates come out, either through Mac OS is updating, seems like monthly, and Windows is changing versions every 2-3 years. It seems like. What's some of the things that could help future-proof their software and hardware? Is there any steps they could do? Anything they could do?
So like future-proofing is really kind of like the hardest thing to do, because you never know when what is going to be next. Because like, let's go. I mean, okay, I'm going to use like a video gaming type thing. Nobody 5 years ago was thinking about ray tracing in video games.
Good point.
Or no, like not. I guess actually the 20 series was like 5 years. So okay, go like 6 or 7 years ago.
Right.
Nobody was thinking about ray tracing. And now we're on to literally just came out this whole new thing called path tracing.
What is
which
that?
is so ray tracing is like going from what you're seeing
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like tracing, okay, does that go to a light source?
Makes
okay, then
sense.
that's what should be reflected. Path tracing is more realistic because it actually starts from the light source.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's insane.
That's a lot of computations.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so I mean, it's future proofing is really hard because
Right.
you don't know what's going to come out next. Like when we were like, I remember when, oh God, I'm going to do that here. I remember when 64-bit came out.
Mhm.
When we went from 32 to 64,
Mhm.
that was insane.
The amount of
And then-
information that it
Yeah.
can process, right?
And then after that, it was like, wait, dual core? What's that?
I
We're
remember
putting two processors on one? Huh? Yeah, no, and it just keeps going from there. Like,
So yeah, it's something you can never see what that next step's
Exactly.
going to be, right?
so I mean, all you can do is basically like take what you have, try to do as much as you can with it, and then for the most part, like a lot of systems or a lot of manufacturers try to keep their stuff relevant for at least a couple generations.
Right. Yeah.
So like if you have like a custom PC, like a few of the ones we have around here, the motherboards in these are good for at least 3 or 4 generations of processors.
Right. Yeah.
And then the PCI spec where your cards plug into, that's been around for, I want to say, early aughts.
Yeah, I was going to say about 15, 20 years, probably.
Yeah.
If I had that off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's a standard. I mean, it keeps getting faster, but that just means the newer stuff, the old stuff will still work on the newer stuff, and the new stuff will just be faster.
Yeah. So it just, if you want to save yourself money, it's just like we talk about with everything else. You're either going to have to pay the money or invest the time to do a little bit of research and learning. And then it's kind of especially with PC, I found the motto of bend, don't break kind of thing when it comes to just update it as it can, make it work as long as it can until it breaks. And then it's like, okay, time to replace that.
Yeah, exactly. You get to a certain point, it's like, okay, you know what? This is unsustainable. This audio remaster is taking an hour and a half for a 5-minute thing.
So it's a legit thing, especially if we're just talking to artists right now of just the heartache that audio engineers have to deal with. When he did my personal switch over from my computer and we updated quite a few things. And I know that rendering some of my audio masters took, hour and a half, 2 hours. And especially if I was doing a full album, like there goes that day. That's what I'm doing today. And then it's like 15 minutes. Like, okay, I should. It's those moments where it's like, okay, I need to break a little faster and stop bending so much. But you learn that as you go. But there's always options. As the thing to take away from your, like you said, you can't really future proof, and things are always going to be changing, updating. It's just adapt.
Yeah, it's moving just like the music industry. There's always changes coming up. There's always new. Like how many people had a Blue? How many years ago?
I know. Yeah.
So, it's basically just. You can keep up if you want, but that's just going to cause you a lot of heartache and money.
Yep. Yeah.
So just like work with what you have, keep it as going, and like mark your point. So like if your updates get to the point where it's like, oh, now my stuff takes, this long and that's unsustainable. Okay, now it's time to upgrade.
Right. Have that bare minimum of how much you'll accept before. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. I wish I had thought of that. So we've talked about that, doing the updating. As a person who is kind of plugged into the tech side of the tech world and that kind of thing, what is a good resource you follow in regards to learning about what's coming and what to keep an eye out on?
Oh my God, so much YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to hear anybody in like most industries say, just watch YouTube. But seriously, just watch YouTube.
I say
watch a lot on
this. So if you want to learn something, YouTube's there. It's we didn't have it when we were kids, but
I wish.
Life changing.
God, yeah, because there's literally like the tech YouTube space is insane, and it's basically anything you want. Oh, you want to find a YouTuber that just does phones? Okay, cool, that guy.
Right.
If you want, general tech stuff, that guy.
Yeah, they've all got their little niche and they're good at it.
And like my thing for the last like couple years since trying to get into networking and servers. Oh, hey, there's these people doing enterprise server stuff in their living rooms. Okay.
Nice.
And it's all just YouTube. I mean, there's publications, there's things you can watch, but and most of them are on YouTube too.
Yeah, that's true. So might as well just go to the one source. That makes a lot of sense. Is there any like one person that you'd say is great to get a start at, to dip your toe in, to kind of learn from?
For tech, for like general technology, like if you're just trying to like surface stuff, the biggest one, and he's the biggest because he's the generalist, would be the Linus Tech Tips. I hate to drop that because I'm literally wearing their shirt right now.
Yeah, that's actually we meant to do it that way, but no, that makes a lot of sense and honestly, he's just so down to earth. I mean, if you're really gonna go, if that's the one person that you're gonna just pick up a couple things from, he's fantastic. And if you have the time, I'm gonna just personally recommend go into his backstory. It's super interesting.
It's crazy.
That's its own
like
rabbit
painting
hole right there.
and
and then like you got to start like working for an electronic company like Best Buy kind of thing.
Yeah, NCIX up in Canada. Yeah, and then they went bankrupt a while ago.
Make some videos, and he turned it into like a whole empire.
Oh yeah,
but that's its own thing.
He got away with murder when he took that name away. Oh my god.
And let's just say if it was in America, it probably would have been a different kind of lawsuit. But
oh god. But
it's its own thing.
Yeah, but like there's like if you're looking at like again another general hardware, like Paul's Hardware is really good. He used to, speaking of people who got their start in like retail, he actually started working at Newegg.
Oh really?
Doing stuff for
Didn't
them.
know that.
Yeah. And then there's like
Newegg's
if you want
a great place to buy PC parts, by the way.
So. It's kind of
true. Things have changed.
Things changed.
Things change.
Yeah. And then there's like if you want to get into like the super technical like of the general hardware kind of stuff, Gamers Nexus, weird name, but they go into real like deep dive technical evaluations of things like video cards, hardware, processors, power supplies, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm going to include all of those in links below, so look below to see those links. So let's go on to the next question. Can you maybe talk, as we get more into talking about you a little bit, some of the growing pains that you've gone through and getting to the point where you are now in your career and kind of where you're heading in your own career in the tech side of things?
I mean, it's mostly up until now been a hobby kind of thing. Like I've mostly been a hobbyist working. I mean, I've done like technical support at certain places. I've done, build computers for people, a couple like startup businesses here and there. But for the most part, yeah, it's just been like hobbyist things. Most of like just getting into it is just kind of playing around. The big hurdle is getting the stuff, because once you get to a certain point, it gets expensive, like really expensive.
Oh, we were talking to the people that understand your pain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, hey, how many guitars do you want to have? God. Yeah, no, I bought that one Taylor, and I was like, you know what? This is great. Maybe I should get another one, or not. But yeah, no, it's basically just like any hobby. You hit the point, I swear the cost is just
exponential, really.
Yeah, which is why I actually kind of I was like, yeah, I'm doing computer hardware. This is getting really expensive. You know what? I'm going to do server stuff. Because literally you can pivot, and there's this whole refurbished market from stuff that enterprise use that they just want to get rid of now because it's out of lease or something. So
it's more of an economic choice that led that direction.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of between that and just kind of playing around with stuff. There's only a certain amount that you can play around with, just in Windows or something like that.
Right.
And then you get into Linux stuff, and then it's you know what? If I really want to do something with Linux, I have to kind of do this. And then it was you know what? I really kind of want to have a media server going on. And it's that leads you down a whole nother road where you end up buying 9 hard drives and trying to stick it into a case, and good luck.
That's fantastic. So where are you going from here then? So you got to that point, you've done all the hobby work. So where are you looking to go for a career?
Right now I'm basically looking at a couple different places. I'd really like to get into data center work, just be in there, because where the software and everything like that is great. I love it. Like I said before, I like having a screwdriver in my hand and fixing stuff.
Right.
That's if I've got a screwdriver in my hand and I'm swapping out hard drives, I am in fantasy land. We had a server issue like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think I texted Adrian about it.
Right.
Like, hey, the server's down. Sorry.
Adrian's my wife, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry. It was like, hey, the server's down. Sorry. It was because like literally it just turned out to be like one of the cards came loose. But I was like popping stuff out of that, like checking, and I was happy.
Right. And you were like, in your happy place.
Exactly. Like I was in the zone. That was where it was good to be. But like doing that IT consulting, done a little bit of that on the side. There's just so much that I just like to get in and do the stuff.
Right. That's great. Yeah, that's a great way to move in a career. So that's fantastic. Anybody looking for a network specialist, here's your guy. So as we're winding down here towards the end, if there is anybody that wants to do any like PC builds or anything like that, is there a way they can get a hold of you to either use you as a reference or a place, or actually hire you to do some of that?
Easiest ways to get a hold of me, I think I check my email pretty often, so that's one of them, just because I have a lot of stuff coming in through there. So either email or I'm not really on any social networks now. So
good for you.
Like that's the like I got off Twitter and like I haven't done Facebook for a few years.
Right. Okay, well, fantastic. I'll just link that below so everybody can, if they need to get a hold of you there. So besides that, I think you've really picked your brain and got as much as we can. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean, like, we pretty much covered like a large portion of it. Of course, like the email will be there, so if anybody has any like specific questions,
really appreciate that.
Pretty much bored most of the time, or job hunting.
Right?
So.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nathan. It's fantastic to have you. I'm shaking his hand, but of course we're actually related, so that's a little weird. But still,
no,
thank
it's not.
you so
We
much
do
for
this
time.
on a regular basis.
Weird.
Now
It's weird. But thank you so much. I really appreciate having you on. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me. This has been great.
All right, well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Oh, hey there. Didn't see ya. Thank you for joining me on In the Round. In the Round. I don't know where that music came from. But anyways, this is our end of the video segment where we just take a second to thank you again for listening and watching. And also to thank those special people that make this possible, our Patreon supporters. As you can see, they are listed here. Yeah, okay. They get the joke. We can stop now. Clearly, we don't have any supporters yet. We're just launching. But if you'd like to join our community and be one of the first few to jump in, we'd really appreciate it. And you could start to see an acorn blossom into a tree. So we'd really appreciate that help. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get more of this content, it should be down there somewhere. Or you can give us a like if you enjoyed the video. So thanks again, and see you again soon.